That's done. Hey, Evelyn, please read the daily word. Thank you.
Okay. In the past, I've resisted unwelcome situations and unwanted outcomes. Over time, I have learned that my resistance did little more than leave me agitated and unhappy. I have learned to trade resistance for acceptance. Accepting situations as they are does not mean I like what is happening, but it does mean I'm willing to be present to it without resistance or struggle. From that place, I am better able to work towards creating better conditions for myself and others. When I practice acceptance, I invite the presence of God to inspire and comfort me. I shift my attention from what might feel wrong to that which is always right, the absolute, unchanging goodness of God. And from Philippians 4, verse 11, not that I am referring to being in need, for I have learned to be content with whatever I have.
Thank you, Evelyn.
You're welcome.
Message with that. Oh, if you don't want, I didn't put up the right one. Okay, so Reverend Barbara, welcome back from your trip, and would you please lead us in the opening prayer and carol? Thank you.
So let us join together in consciousness. It is in this moment, as I take a breath, that I quiet my mind and relax my body and open myself up to a new idea, the possibility of living from the grace and goodness of God and moving forward with a sense of celebration in all that I think, say, and do. What I know for this service today is that it is a gift, that the words that are shared, the songs that are sung, the overall message of community is one that is positive, powerful, and productive. And as a result, a change occurs that is truly remarkable. So filled with love and peace and joy, knowing that today truly is a gift and a blessing, I take all of these ideas and I release them into the universal one. I know that all is well, and I let that be the truth. And so it is.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Go ahead, Reverend Barbara. Thank you.
Well, today I wanted to share a little bit of my journey to Kenya and talk a little bit about the idea of how pain pushes until vision pulls. And when I think about that title, I think a lot of us found this New Thought teaching because of maybe a little pain in our lives, or things weren't working and somebody told us about this great positive message, and maybe we could fix ourselves and get to a place where life worked a little easier. So my journey to Kenya was not at all what I anticipated. And it's interesting how so often we will plan something, and if it doesn't work out quite the way we envision it, maybe we get a little upset or frustrated or call it bad, rather than kind of just going with the flow to see where it might lead. So my trip to Kenya was interesting because when I arrived after my, I don't know, about 20 hours in airports, I was more than a little bit exhausted, physically quite uncomfortable, and was unable to actually attend one of the events because it was about a 5-mile walk, and I knew that I didn't have the strength to do that. So I stayed in my room, and what I did was explore, what was going on inside of me and what my expectations were, my fears, things like that. And I began to kind of unravel this emotional and mental web of discomfort, fear, judgment, the things that go on in here that, we would never really speak out here, but they're in there, and we worry, am I enough? Have I done it right? What did I do in the past? Can I forgive myself? So all of this was happening about the first 4 days that I was in Kenya. So we did some things. I was finding it very hard to keep up. I was having difficulty breathing. And I mean, the difference in elevation was considerable because Toronto's at 230 feet and Kenya's at 6,000 feet. So that might have had a little something to do with it. But through this 4 days, I wrote some poetry, wrote some music, journaled a lot, did a ton of forgiveness work and stuff, and really began to clear the clutter that was occupying my mind coming into 2024, because 2023 was kind of a difficult year for me. So coming into 2024, I thought it's got to be different. It's got to be better. Well, interestingly, on day 4, we switched from Maasai Lodge to the KCB Leadership Center where the conference was being held. And when I got there, I couldn't breathe. So I was rushed by ambulance to the hospital in Karen, and they discovered I had pneumonia. Not what I'd planned for my trip, not even a little bit. So they give me a bunch of antibiotics and cough medicine and this, that, and the other thing, and send me back to my hotel because they caught it early, so they felt I'd be fine. And at the hotel, You know, it's interesting. If I was at a hotel here in North America, probably I never would have seen another person until it was time to check out and pay my bill. Then they would come and check on me, but not so in Kenya. The girl at the front desk gave me her phone number, her cell phone number, because there's no phones in the room. So in order for me to contact the front desk if I needed something, I would have to walk to the front desk, which I really wasn't capable of doing. And so she gave me her number and said, you need anything, you just WhatsApp me. So she would check in on me almost hourly. You know, check in. How are you doing? Do you need anything? Can I bring you some water? You know, do you need some food? What's going on? And so this went on and on. And the girl who was cleaning my room, she would come in a couple times a day and what can I bring you? What do you need? Checking up on me, checking up on me. And what was interesting is I got to know these two women. Of course, the woman at the front desk, her name was Charity. No big surprise there. It's like she had this beautiful charitable personality. I thought, wow, talk about living your name. But the blessing that I experienced for the first time in my life, I was able to acknowledge that what had occurred was a natural chemicalization. Right? So in those first 4 days, I was processing emotional, historical, you know, all this stuff that had been going on in my life for, you know, I don't know, 67 or so years. And I just sort of being with all of it, not judging it or labeling it, but processing it. So then the next thing is when we release mentally, emotionally, well, you know, the body's got to release as well. So I didn't resist the pneumonia. I didn't resist the amount of time I spent in the bathroom. I didn't resist the fact that I could not eat anything. I think I dropped 14 pounds in 9 days. What I did was I slept and I spoke with these beautiful people who came to see me, these two women, and also my drivers. There were 2 drivers that drove us from the airport to the hotels. And they came to check on me as well. So although I missed the entire conference because I couldn't get out of bed, I had people coming to my room to support me and chat with me and share their love and their joy. The interesting thing about Kenya is it's a very poor country. 60% of the people are unemployed. The amount of money they make is minuscule. What I realized was that these folks that I was meeting were so joyful, and it was so different than my experience here in North America. Here we have so much, and there they have nothing. And here we're fretting, we're worrying, we're stressing, we're struggling. And over there, there's a quiet peacefulness that I experienced that was remarkable. And it helped me to shift my understanding of life and living and what it is we should or shouldn't be doing, and started to realize that really the only thing we're required to do is to be present with what is. So when I think about pain pushing, you know, things happen in our lives, you know, we get in a car crash or we get a diagnosis of an illness, or, you know, we have a challenge in a relationship, and we will go into a place of real resistance to what is. We want it to be different. We want it to make it go away. We want it to change. And what happens, of course, is that holds it in place. Whatever you resist persists. And so there's this energy that we live with here that I didn't notice there. The people I was interacting with there were simply being with what was. And a lot of it, by my account, was really hard. You know, watching people carrying huge loads of stuff so they could maybe go and sell it to make a little bit of money to feed their family. looking at the amount of work they had to do. But the joy, that was the part that really got to me when I was at the hospital, just loving, joyful, happy, joking around people. The first doctor who saw me when I came in by ambulance, he's looking at me, he goes, what's your name? I give him my name. He goes, oh, I can't say that. I'm going to call you, I think he said Wanjuko. that'll be your Swahili name. And it's like, that I can say. And I just laughed. I went, all right, I'll take it. When I went back a week later for a checkup, he comes walking in, he goes, Wanjuko, you're back. You look so much better today. And so there was this joyful interaction that happened. And the medical care there was so far beyond what we have here. It was shocking. It was shocking. I got such exemplary care, and so quickly. Draw your blood and have results in an hour. Do a chest x-ray and have answers in like a few minutes. Have an echocardiogram and have the person who's giving it go, yep, everything is good, no problems here at all. Here we wait for weeks and months and years to get anything. So I found just a different level of care and joy that I was experiencing there. And what I realized was that part of that was my own attitude. I think sometimes we forget how we draw through the law of attraction. We will bring into our lives that which matches our energy. So even though I was sick, I was joyful. I was really, I'm not sure why, but I was really happy and loving my bed, loving my room, loving these beautiful people who came and spent time with me and chatted with me and checked on me and went above and beyond. I was in awe of the care I was given. And then when our people from conference would come back, they would check on me as well. But there was a sense of being in Nairobi rather than being a tourist in Nairobi. Because the people I was associating with and the things we were doing were not touristy things. And I had this very rich blessing of connecting with people who are still contacting me through WhatsApp. How are you doing today? Are you feeling better? And it has taken me last Thursday, this past Thursday was the first time I could actually get out and about. So I came home still feeling quite sick. But the journey was rich and satisfying. And the drivers who were taking me around, stopped by 4 days after my hospitalization just to check in and say, hey, come on, you need to get out of this room. They drove me to a grocery store so I could get juice and things and brought me back. And just that little bit of fresh air was absolutely wonderful. But beyond that, it was the connection of the people. And I think sometimes when we're looking at life, and especially when we're struggling with something, we tend to maybe push people away rather than draw them in. We will, I know this is my case anyway, when I'm feeling really sick, I just want to hibernate. I want to be away from everybody, stay in my room and not socialize. But that was not the case there. For whatever reason, the connections I had when I was flying down, I met a woman on the plane. We had this great conversation about the universe and how it operates and quantum physics. It was brilliant. And on the way back, I met an Episcopalian priest. We prayed together on the plane. We chatted about, the differences between Canada and the US and being in a small church. And the things that occurred to me were that the vision I have for my life is that love is the answer regardless of what's happening. And because of that vision and because of that, that willingness to hold to that as much as possible, what I was finding is that's exactly what I was attracting into my experience, was this very warm, loving energy that was beyond anything I would have anticipated in a country where I knew no one. Fascinatingly, though, when you have a vision of what it is you want your life to be, get a sense of what is the highest potential or possibility for me, that vision then sort of pulls you along a roadway that may appear very different than what you anticipated, and yet in some way is absolutely the right and perfect thing to take you where you needed to go. I really believe that any pain we're experiencing, if we will surrender into it rather than resist it, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, drop our awareness into it, be with it, sit in that, that ache in the back or in the knee or the hip and go, okay, let me just put my awareness there. What do I need? Because my body's talking to me. And I think we have separated ourselves from our physical body. We've separated ourselves from our emotional body, our mental body. And if we would just bring our awareness back, creating a vision of what it is we truly desire, remembering that God only answers with a yes. Yes is the answer 100% of the time. So if I'm sick in my bed and I'm going, I hate this, I want it to go away, what happens is my experience matches that energy of discomfort, that energy of pain, and begins to sort of create this catharsis where nothing's moving and I feel stuck. But in the moment that I just allow it and go, wow, okay, here's what I'm feeling, and I drop my awareness into that, what happens is the way through becomes clear. And the vision that I have for my life is all about love, right? Love is the energy of acceptance. It's not an emotion in this case. It is the energy or vibration of God. And when I think about that and allow myself to be in that space, everything else begins to line up. Doesn't mean that it's always easy, right? Because when difficult things happen, we tend to resist them. And that's kind of a natural reaction. It's the way we've been conditioned and raised. But if we can switch that around and instead calling it bad or wrong, just know that it is what it is. And every single thing that comes into our life is taking us to that place of our highest potential. Our highest potential. I have a prayer that I shared with Patty when we were talking earlier. I have it as my screensaver because I want to keep my mind in this place all the time. And it says, may everything that's ready to open, open. And may everything that's ready to leave, leave. I long for the highest to occur. May I be abundance. And when I think about abundance, that to me is about being in life, fully accepting, honoring, and being grateful for what is. It's not about money or things. It's about that willingness to be fully present in the life I have. Not the one I'm dreaming about or wishing for, but the one I have. Because as I begin to love the life I have, what happens is it transforms. And it begins to move me back to a place of my true self. When we came into this world, we were perfect, whole, and complete. Okay, created by God, right? In a way to bring our special little something, something into the world, whatever that might be. And each person is unique and special. Each person has something that they bring that no one else on the planet can deliver in the same way And it is essential for us to give that. Now, we lost sight of it because by the time we were 6 or 7 years old, we had been conditioned to behave in a way that would please the people around us, or make the attempt to try and please the people around us. So we stopped being who we were, and we began sort of morphing into whatever the situation called for. So what we're being called to now in our later years is to drop all that and to remember who we actually are and to begin to live from there. That's the big one. How do I be who I am? Should be obvious, right? But it isn't necessarily, because we've been conditioned to live differently. We've been conditioned to do things that will get approval. And what we really need to do is honor that essence within us, whatever that looks like, whatever that is. And each one of us at one point in time knew exactly what we were here to do. So now we're returning to that. My hope is we're returning to that. And so we get a vision. So when we're doing our meditation practice, in meditation, we're really sitting in the silence. We're sitting in the quiet, not trying to make something happen and not trying to stop anything. I think sometimes we go into meditation going, I have to stop my thinking. That's not what meditation's for. Meditation is to simply be. And sometimes when we're being, our mind is running around like a little a little wild child in a candy store, here, there, and everywhere. Give me more, give me more. It's doing all kinds of stuff. Did you do this? Did you remember that? Did you do the other thing? And it's okay. In meditation, that's quite okay. We can sit with that and go, wow, look at my mind. Wandering here and there. Fascinating. Let me just draw a breath. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. What I do is I just bring my focus to my breath for a moment. And sure enough, I'll forget and I'll be wandering off into that into that place of up and down here and there, mind going all over the place. Meditation is about training the mind. And when we're training anything, we're going to find the resistance. We're going to find the other challenges popping in. And what we want to do is just accept them as they are. Maybe there's loud noise in the room around us, or maybe our dog starts barking. Whatever's going on, what we want to do is just go, oh, okay, let me allow that to bring me deeper. Let me take that outside distraction. Instead of being distracted, let it take me deeper. Let that noise bring me closer to my source. And we begin to change what that is. And in meditation, sometimes nothing seems to happen during the meditation, but maybe 2 or 3 hours later, we get an insight, an answer to a challenge we were working with, or some idea we had. And we begin to see this energy moving us in a certain way where we get little hints as to what's next for us. And if we can follow that, we begin to create something that is positive and powerful and productive and moving us in the direction of our greatest expression. It's taking us back to where we were when we first came in. What we forgot, we start to remember. And as we remember who we really are and begin to live from there, there's a greater experience of joy, of love, of peace that comes as a result of that. So the idea of, pain pushing, well, pain is, pushed me into new thought. It maybe pushed you there as well. And maybe it's still pushing, going, now what? What's next? And I think we get a little frustrated or, not knowing, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And what we want to do is change that to, what do I need to be? instead of doing, being. If I will be present in my life as it is, without resistance, what might occur? Because when we stop resisting, that's when flow happens. And that flow begins to pull us to that highest potential that our life has for us. The thing that we forgot about, the idea that we resisted, we end up being pulled in a direction that takes us to a place of great fulfillment. So this journey that we're on is not by accident at all. We are here by divine appointment. Each and every one of us created unique and special, each one of us bringing a little something, something to the universe at this point in time, something that is essential to all. It's positive, it's beautiful, and it's something that only we can bring. No one else can do it. So what is that thing? And I often will say to people, what is your purpose? And they'll go, I don't know. And that's the number one lie we tell ourselves is, I don't know. Truth is, I don't remember. But I always know. There's something deep inside that knows. And if I will get out of here long enough, drop my awareness into my heart space, into that power place of the divine, what happens is I begin to see who it is that I really am. So I invite you just to explore life from a new vantage point, to give up resistance, to give up the idea of control, because we actually don't have any, right? We like to think we do, but we don't. What we can control is what we think about. How we judge life, criticize ourselves. And if we can interrupt that, that's when the pain begins to subside and the vision begins to manifest. That's when we begin to find our pathway, the one we forgot about. Infinite possibility. That's what the spiritual path is. Infinite possibility. And when we stop trying to figure it out and define it, it reveals itself through us. You are powerful. So let us just take this now and go into meditation. And I invite you to just surrender. Just surrender. Allow yourself to take a couple of deep breaths, just breathing in. And as you exhale, just feel your body relax. Just letting go of any tension. And taking another deep breath. And as you release, just allow yourself to feel a deep level of gratitude. Just this feeling of appreciation, this feeling of being grateful for your very existence. And it is in that place of gratitude that I begin to see myself in a brand new way. I take a breath and I'm grateful to be on this side of the grass. I take a breath and I'm grateful for the roof over my head. And I take a breath and I'm grateful for the food that nourishes my body. And I take a breath And I'm grateful for the people that I interact with, those that are easy, but more importantly, those that are challenging me. Take a breath, and I choose love. I choose understanding. Take a breath, and I choose peace. I take a breath, and I remember who I really am. I take a breath, and I am grateful for the person that I am and what is mine to do. I take a breath, and I acknowledge my life as it is, without judgment, criticism, resistance. I take my life as it is, accepting it fully, loving it deeply, and allowing it to flow. I take a breath, and I am filled with gratitude. Every cell of my body tingling with this deep appreciation for what is. My heart is open, mind is clear, and my body strong, healthy, vital, and vibrant. Life unfolding beautifully. And with a deep sense of gratitude, I take another deep breath, exhaling slowly and opening my eyes. It is done. And so it is.
Oh, thank you, Reverend Barbara. What a trip. Oh, we'll talk more about that in a couple minutes. So, our closing song in the service this morning is Daniel Maynard's Swing Wide the Doors.
Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Here we go now. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. It's about kindness. It's about hearts open wide. It's about love. It's about passion. It's about taking a chance. It's about love. It's about service. It's about lending a hand. About lending a hand. Swing wide the doors. The time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. The doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. About lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. There's a voice that I've heard for years. I learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming in loud and clear. I want a deeper life. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. About lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. All right now, swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart.